Good morning and welcome back to Coffee Break. So this weekend in the United States, we are celebrating Independence Day.
Yeah. So actually, the UK kind of acknowledges
Really?
4th of July too. Yeah. Well, because I studied abroad in London during the summer. And, you know, I was like, am I just going to have to, kind of keep my head down during 4th of July weekend and, pretend those horrible Americans, they ruined our country, am I right? And no, but, lots of pubs had specials going on and everything like that and saying, yeah, it's probably just a way for them to sell more beer now that I say it out loud.
Drink your sorrows, we lost.
Consumerism. That's why other countries acknowledge 4th of July.
Even though the modern tradition of celebrating Independence Day is grilling hot dogs, drinking beer, playing lawn games, going to the beach, all summer things, it's also nice to kind of look back and remember the history, of Independence Day, of July 4. That was a pretty big day. So I feel like the perfect way to, not kill the holiday mood, but acknowledge what we're celebrating is to read books about the 4th of July.
Of course. Yeah, and of course, there's tons of great books, both nonfiction and historical fiction about the Revolutionary War. You're not hard pressed to find one.
Right. But we have two really great suggestions.
Yeah, if you need help. So what book did you pick?
So if you could hand it to me, actually.
Oh. What book did you pick? I have no idea.
I chose The Attack of the Turtle. By Drew Carlson. So this book is about 14-year-old Nathan Wade, who helps his cousins, the Bushnells, build the very first submarine, which actually is based on a true story, which is really cool. The main character is an invented character, but his cousins, the Bushnells, are the actual people who invented and built the submarine, which is really cool.
Nice.
So there's a lot of historical facts in here. Which I think is my favorite thing, to read a historical novel and then all of the stuff that you think is no way, clearly they made that up for better drama.
Plot.
But most of the stuff that I was surprised by is actually true.
That's
so
awesome.
That was really fun.
Yeah.
And I really loved the nods to the familiar history, they run into Benjamin Franklin and get to talk to him, and he gets a glimpse of George Washington. It's that's so cool.
I know those guys.
American heroes. So what book did you pick?
So I picked Friends of Liberty, and I've actually been thinking about this book a lot this week because it's set in Boston in 1773, and I'm going to Boston for the first time this weekend. So,
which is probably one of the greatest places to celebrate the 4th of July.
Yeah, like a true American right here. Yeah. So this takes place right before the Boston Tea Party and everything, so tensions are really high. And the protagonist, Sally, comes from a patriot family, but her best friend Kitty is on the loyalist side. And so, she's kind of torn between those, and she has to quick make up her mind about, what she believes in.
Right.
And I think this book really resonated with me because I sort of dealt with the same thing. My parents are Republican, not Donald Trump Republican, but John Kasich Republican, right? And, most of my friends are Democrats because, I went to a liberal arts college and everything. So, it's kind of odd to, it's been a process for me, I guess.
Yeah.
To figure out, okay, where do I personally come down on these issues and everything?
And, what does that say about my family or friends if I disagree with them? And,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's really interesting how, this book takes place during the birth of our country, essentially.
Yeah.
And I think the struggle the protagonist goes through is something that is still really relevant today. At least it is to me.
Yeah.
So, I think that's kind of a good way to remember the history of Independence Day and, the ways in which we've progressed and then the ways in which we're still kind of grappling with some of these ideas.
Yeah. Which is frustrating that we still have a lot of disagreement, and yet it's kind of the beauty of why we started our country, right? Because we knew that people had opinions and we wanted to honor that.
Right, exactly. If you have ways of celebrating the 4th of July, especially if they involve reading,
yes,
let us know in the comments. We would love to hear from you.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. So this turned into a go vote message, which is a good message.
Stay in school. That's another good one.
It's summer.
Go
back to school in the fall.
There you go.